Hello students and namaste everyone. I am Dhaval sir and our today's topic is your Standard 9 Supplementary Reader 3, that is Ishwaran the Storyteller by R.K. Narayan. This story is very interesting one, right? And the main characters of this story are two persons, that is Mahendra and Ishwaran. Mahendra was a supervisor, right? He was a junior supervisor at a construction company site, right? His work was to move from one place to another when he got orders from his head office to different sites. And the another main character is the cook of Mahendra, whose name was Ishwaran. Right, so the main title of the chapter is Ishwaran the Storyteller. Right, so this title suggests that this story is about Ishwaran. Right, he is called the storyteller because as story, right, Ishwaran is called storyteller. Why is called storyteller? Because storytelling is an art, right? It's not easy work, right? So storytelling is an art and Ishwaran was very good at it. Okay, so why he was very good at it? Because while telling the stories, Ishwaran used special effects, right? He used to describe the story in such a way that it made it very interesting. Then he did different modulation voice modulation means if I am telling you the story, then I'll make the noise of a girl, I'll try to make the different sounds of the animals, I'll try to make different voices of different person, right? So there is voice modulation, making changes in the voice. Then he also used his body language, right, to make the story realistic, right? So those person or people who listen to his story, they felt that this story what Mahendra is telling is a true or a real story. Okay, and his employer, that is Mahendra, he always got attracted and captivated towards his stories, right? So that is how Ishwaran was so good at telling stories, right? So the writer here wants to highlight the qualities of Ishwaran, that he was so good at telling the stories that that those stories always appear to be real, though it were untrue. Those were the imaginative stories, but whenever Mahendra told or Ishwaran told those stories, it seemed to be real. It looked as if it were real, right? And those stories which Ishwaran told Mahendra was a source of entertainment for Mahendra. Why it was a source of entertainment? Because uh, Mahendra was a bachelor, that means he was not a married person, and as I told you that he was a junior supervisor at a construction site, construction company. He had to keep on moving from one place to another, and he did not have a permanent resident or a permanent settlement place. So along with him, his cook Ishwaran also kept on moving, right? And as they kept on moving from one place to another, they did not have any kind of TV or any kind of other entertainment at those sites, those construction sites, and therefore Ishwaran's ability of storytelling was always a very good entertainment for Mahendra. Okay, so this story was told Ishwaran the storyteller. So this is actually a story narrated to Ganesh, right? He might be a person working with Mahendra, right? So this story is narrated to Ganesh by Mahendra. Okay, and Mahendra, as I said, he kept on moving from place to place, and always Ishwaran accompanied him, right, wherever he went. And the main advantage for Mahendra was that this Ishwaran, he never denied for anything. He always accompanied Mahendra, and he did all the work for Mahendra, right? Because at the construction site they might be alone, right? So he provided Mahendra with his company. then he cooked food for him, right? Then he even washed his clothes, and he prepared meal for Mahendra from time to time, right? So this were all the work done by Ishwaran. And uh, what Mahendra tells about Ishwaran is that whenever they moved to different sites, then Ishwaran would gather all the things which were required to prepare a meal in no time. That means if you go to a new place, it is very difficult to find fruits and vegetables and different things, right? Because many a times they had to live at a place where there were no pakka house, they had to live in the tents also. So even at those places also, and some places might be isolated or it might be remote places, that means places which were situated far away where no people lived, then too he was able to find vegetables and whatever required things within no time, right? And he would cook the food very deliciously. Okay. Even every morning, what Mahendra used to do, so Mahendra would get ready for his office work. He would eat his breakfast. He would take his lunch along with him and go for his work, right? And in the meanwhile, after Mahendra went for his work, what did Ishwaran do? Then Ishwaran, what he would do, he would clean the house, or he would clean the place, wash the clothes, right? And he would take the bath and eat lunch. And he had the habit of reading Tamil storybooks, right? Which were of hundreds of pages, and which had many interesting stories. And after that, while reading the stories, he would take a nap. Nap means a short sleep. Okay. Then again in the evening, when Ishwaran would entertain Mahendra with his stories when he came back from his office, right? He had such a good art of storytelling, right, that he would always use his body postures and gestures, facial expressions. Now, what is postures? The way we stand, the way we walk, right, are the postures. Then he used his facial expression, and as I said in the beginning itself, he also used voice modulation. That means he used to make different types of voice of male, female, animals, and everything, right? So with these things, his stories looked lively. That means the characters in those stories were live. That means we could feel that we are in the situation where the story is going on, right? Even though his stories seemed to be untrue, right? Though the stories were unreal or untrue or imaginative, it seemed to be true, right? Ishwaran had the quality of telling or narrating the story in such a way that Mahendra listened to it very curiously, right? He was always very curious when Ishwaran told him the stories. Then one day, Ishwaran told Mahendra about the story of an elephant that had escaped from the jungle and had entered the town, right? And this beast means a huge animal, right, reached Ishwaran school. So he's telling the story when he was in the school, he was in the junior class, right? At that time, one elephant had ran away from the jungle, and the elephant had reached the town, and it had reached to the school where Ishwaran was studying. Okay, so as he had entered the school, it had started destroying the property of the school, and all the students had locked themselves up. That means all the people, they were scared, and therefore they had locked themselves in the classroom. Okay. At the same time, there were many students who were at the terrace, and they were looking at the elephant, right? So at that time, Ishwaran was studying in junior class, right? And he was also watching the incident from the rooftop. That means, as I said, from the terrace. Okay. and he took a stick. What did he do? He took a stick from the teacher, right? In olden days, the teachers used to have stick with them to beat up or lash the children. So from the teacher, and came downstairs, okay, where the elephant was there, okay, and he walked towards the elephant as it threatened to attack him, right? It was in a very angry mood, and that means the elephant was in a very angry mood. Then too, without being scared, Ishwaran took the stick from the teacher and he moved towards the elephant, right? So he is trying to say in the story that he was not scared of the elephant, and he gathered all his strength, and uh, what did he do? He took the stick and he bit the elephant on its toenail, right? He bit the elephant's toenail very hardly, right? And therefore this attack on the toenail surprised the animal. It stunned the animal and it fainted and it fell on the ground. Right? So when we hear this kind of story, we feel like what is going on? Such a huge beast, such a huge animal is just bitten with a stick and it is falling or it fall on the ground. So we feel that it is a kind of unreal thing, right? So that elephant fell on the ground. He did not complete the story and said, right? So while he was saying this story, whenever we are told any stories, we always get involved in it so much that we want to listen the whole story. But this fellow had the habit of keeping the story incomplete in between, and he used to go for his incomplete works, or he used to go away for his works to be completed. So what did he do? He, while telling the story about the elephant to Mahendra, he did not complete the story and said that he was getting late for the dinner. That means he needed to prepare the dinner and he was already late, so he just went away. He went to prepare the dinner for Mahendra, but at the same time, Mahendra was very curious to know what might have happened next, right? So as Ishwaran, he used to keep the story incomplete. He also had the habit that he used to forget, right? He'll not continue the story after getting in contact with Mahendra. So what Mahendra had to do, he had to remind Ishwaran that what happened next, right? What was the story and what happened. So to know the ending, he always reminded Ishwaran about the remaining story. Then Ishwaran said that the veterinary doctor was called. Veterinary doctor means elephant's doctor or animal's doctor, right? The doctor who used to treat the animals are known as veterinary. Okay, so veterinary was called and he brought the elephant to consciousness. That means again the elephant was conscious, and after 2 days Mahat was called. Mahat is the person who takes care of the elephant. So Mahat was called, who took the elephant back to the jungle. So that was a story made by Ishwaran and told to Mahendra. Mahendra asked, right? So after listening to the story, Mahendra was having lot of questions. He was very curious. So he asked Ishwaran that how did he manage to attack or overpower the huge beast, right? So it is not an easy task to control or to defend the huge animal, right? So he asked the question. So Ishwaran replied that he used the technique of Japanese. He used the technique of Japanese martial art. You might all of you might have heard about martial art. You have seen karate, but martial art and karate is totally a different thing, right? So it is a Japanese technique. So what he's saying that I use the technique of Japanese martial art, which was either karate or jutsu, right? So it is a different technique in martial art, and what he said that he had read about it somewhere, and this martial art technique uh, had the ability to make the person unconscious by paralyzing the nervous system, right? We have seen many Chinese movies and where Hollywood movies where they just simply do like this and the person gets unconscious. So there are different techniques may be available, right? In the same way Ishwaran says that he had also read about this technique somewhere. So Ishwaran would every day narrate one or the other story which were very entertaining for Mahendra and fulfilled the absence of entertainment, right? Television in his living quarter at the place where they used to live. So one morning again, Ishwaran asked permission to cook a special dinner, right? He is taking the permission from Mahendra to cook a special dinner, as it was the day when uh, the people they used to cook for dead elders of the family, right? There are some days when we cook for the elders who are dead in our family, right? So it was such a kind of day and he took permission from Mahendra. Fine. Then that evening Ishwaran he had cooked a very delicious meal and therefore Mahendra had enjoyed the tasty meal, right? And he is giving a compliment to Ishwaran for his cooking skills, that you cook very well and everything, right? And as after having the dinner Mahendra was just relaxing, right? And just to his dislike, that means Mahendra did not like stories which involved the ghost or the supernatural powers. So uh, after having the dinner and as Mahendra was relaxing, Ishwaran started narrating a story. Now, what kind of story this might be? It was a story of the ghost and the supernatural powers, which Mahendra did not like to listen, right? So he said, I'll read out the story. He said that the factory area where they lived was earlier a burial ground. Burial ground means where the dead bodies are placed. Okay. On the very first day, what Ishwaran is saying, on the very first day when they arrived at that place, he had seen a human skull lying around. He also added that he was not afraid of ghosts and saw many bones and skulls. While he was moving there, he saw many skulls and dead bodies, right? And on the full moon night, when they were staying at that site, he saw an ugly ghost of a woman whose face was shrunken, right? And it had matted hair. Matted hair means the hairs which were entangled, right? So matted hair, and it had a baby, unborn baby, right? So it might be a small baby in its arms, right? So is giving such kind of description. So that kind of description makes Mahendra uneasy, right? He is getting afraid, and therefore he is scolding Ishwaran for making such nonsense. He is saying that you are making a kind of nonsense story, so stop this kind of nonsense. I don't want to listen it, right? Fine. So he said that ghost did not exist. What Mahendra is saying, that ghosts don't exist, and he ordered Ishwaran to get himself examined. That means he is saying Ishwaran that you go to the doctor and you have a checkup because I think you have gone mad, right? And since that day, Mahendra always felt uneasy and would keep on peeping out of the window in order to check the presence of any ghost around, right? That much scared Mahendra was. So one night Mahendra, when he woke up from his sleep, due to the sound heard by him of some crying, uh, at first he thought that it was a cat looking for the mice, right? He was getting some sound of crying, At first, what he thought, that it was the sound of a cat looking for the mice. As the sound became more harsh and deep, that means the sound or the volume increased, Mahendra could not ignore it and decided to peep out of the window. He decided to look out of the window. As he looked out of the window, he saw that there was a moonlight, right, white moonlight, and a dark shadow was there, and a kind of lady, what kind of description was given, holding the baby in its arm, right. So as he saw the ghost, he started sweating, right, and he started breathing heavily and fell back on the bed, right. So after some time, when Mahendra got relaxed, he thought that this might be possible in his subconscious mind, right. Many a times we are sitting and we are thinking so much that that same things come in our subconscious mind, and we feel that those things are real. So he just thought the same thing, that there is no ghost and everything, and this ghost, what he saw, might be a kind of trick which appeared in his subconscious mind, right. And so he sleeps that night, and on the next day he is getting ready. Next morning he is getting ready for his work, and he had actually forgotten everything about the previous night, right. And just as he was about to leave, Ishwaran greeted him and gave him his lunch bag. Okay, as he was just about to leave for his office, Ishwaran greeted him, and he said that a few days ago Mahendra had scolded him for discussing the ghost, right. This is what Ishwaran is saying to Mahendra, that you had scolded me for discussing the story about the ghost, but last night, what Ishwaran is saying, that he had himself seen the ghost, right. Because the previous night even Mahendra had the feeling that he had seen the ghost, and he had even not shared this thing with the Ishwaran, and even the same thing even Ishwaran is telling to the Mahendra, right. What so how Ishwaran is saying, because Ishwaran had heard, he had listened Mahendra crying at night, because he was so scared of the ghost that Mahendra had started shouting and crying, and this thing was actually heard by Ishwaran. So it was confirmed by Ishwaran that Mahendra might have seen the ghost, and he was scared of it. So when even Ishwaran is also saying the same thing, that he had also seen the ghost, he feels that it was real, it was not his subconscious mind tricking him, it was a real ghost, and he was so frightened that he left in a hurry, and he decided to resign from his job, right. And why he decided to resign from his job? Because he could not live in such a haunted place for even a single day. So this is how Ishwaran's stories were so interesting and curious, and even at last Ishwaran's story made Mahendra so much frightened that he even left his job, and he decided to move away from that place. So that is what all the story is about, and we'll end our lecture over here, right. So this was a detailed summary of this whole chapter. I hope so that you will go through the whole story, or you might have heard the whole story and it is clear for you. And I end my lecture by thanking you all for watching my video.